Let's be honest, are you tired of the endless wellness fads? You know, one day it's celery juice, the next day it's some new diet. It's just overwhelming. So today we're going to cut through all that noise. We're going to dive into 5 simple, timeless habits for better health, and this is all backed by insights from Harvard Health Publishing. These are the fundamentals that actually work. First up, we'll talk about the big difference between a fad and a real habit that actually sticks. Then we're going to get into the 5 core practices: finding calm with mindfulness, getting your sleep right, eating real food, moving your body more, and finally, protecting yourself from some of those hidden toxins. So let's get into it. All right, so the very first thing we have to do is kind of reframe the problem. We are not looking for a quick fix or the next big thing. Nope. We're talking about building a real foundation for long-term health, moving past all those temporary trends and into practices you can actually sustain. And this quote from Harvard Health just nails it, doesn't it? An avalanche of information. That word just perfectly captures the feeling, right? It feels like you're being buried under a mountain of tips and tricks and routines that are always changing and always contradicting each other. I mean, how many of us would answer this with a huge yes? If you've ever felt confused or maybe even a little frustrated by the wellness world, you are definitely not alone. All this constant hype makes it so hard to figure out what actually works. But here is the good news. The solution is way simpler than you think. We're going to focus on 5 core habits, and these are recommended by Dr. Wynn Armand at Mass General Brigham. These are not fads, they are evidence-backed strategies that have really stood the test of time.
Okay, so our first timeless habit is all about mindfulness. As Dr. Armand points out, stress and anxiety are just incredibly common these days. And this practice is all about anchoring yourself, right here, in the now, instead of getting lost worrying about what happened yesterday or what might happen tomorrow.
And just look at this range of benefits. It goes so far beyond just feeling calm. We're talking about proven improvements to your sleep, your focus, even your overall mood. The source even points to a connection with weight loss, just by helping us be more present and intentional when we eat.
And getting started can be this simple. Box breathing is a fantastic little tool you can use anywhere, anytime. By controlling your breath in this simple rhythm, you're directly tapping into your nervous system. You're lowering your heart rate and calming stress in that very moment. Just think about it. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and hold for 4. That is all it takes.
Next up, we've got a habit that mindfulness actually helps with: prioritizing your sleep. It is so easy to treat sleep like a luxury, right? It's the first thing to go when we get busy. But honestly, it's the foundation of everything. From our immune system to our memory, it all relies on getting enough good quality rest.
So what's the magic number? Well, the science is pretty clear on this one. For most adults, the CDC points to at least 7 hours a night. It's a simple benchmark, but a really powerful one. The real question you have to ask yourself is, am I consistently getting there?
But here's the thing. It's not just about the number of hours. This is a super important distinction. Quantity is just the time you spend in bed. Quality, on the other hand, is that deep, uninterrupted sleep that actually leaves you feeling refreshed. In fact, the research from Harvard Health really emphasizes that quality might be even more important than just hitting that 7-hour mark. So how do we get that quality sleep? Well, here's your game plan. And these are not huge, life-altering changes. We're talking simple habits like getting some regular exercise, having a consistent bedtime, and this is a big one, turning off those screens before bed. They can make a massive difference in how you feel in the morning. Okay, let's move on to habit number 3, eating real, whole foods. Now, this isn't about some restrictive diet. It's about shifting our focus to the quality of the food we're using to fuel our bodies every day. And the evidence here is it's overwhelming. When our diets are built around plants, vegetables, fruits, legumes, the research consistently links them to lower rates of some of our biggest health challenges. I mean, just think about that. It's a pretty powerful reason to add even one more serving of vegetables to your day. This quote from Dr. Armand really explains the why behind choosing whole foods over processed stuff. A lot of processed foods are basically engineered to make us crave them. They're packed with all these additives that can hijack our brain's reward system, making it that much harder to make healthy choices. Habit number 4 is a real game changer. This is not just about hitting the gym for 30 minutes. No, this is about weaving movement into the fabric of your entire day and fighting back against that sedentary lifestyle so many of us have. This right here is such a powerful mindset shift. So many of us are just programmed to ask, what saves me the most time? But what if we started asking, how can I use this moment as an opportunity to move?
It's a small change in perspective, but it can have a huge impact on our daily activity levels.
And here are just a few simple ways to put that new mindset into practice. Instead of another Zoom call from your desk, make it a walk and talk. Meet up with a friend for a walk instead of sitting down for coffee. The key is just finding ways to move that don't feel like a chore, but just feel like a natural, enjoyable part of your day.
All right, our fifth and final habit deals with something we might not think about as often, those invisible environmental threats in our daily lives. This is all about taking small, proactive steps to reduce our exposure to common toxins.
And look, this isn't some abstract, far-off danger. We're talking about real things like air pollution from traffic or wildfires, microplastics that have been found pretty much everywhere, and those so-called forever chemicals, or PFAS. These things can get into our bodies and are linked to a whole range of health problems. But the most important point here is that we are not powerless. We actually have control. Simple things, like using a good water filter, swapping out plastic for glass in the kitchen, or running an air purifier when the air quality is bad, these are all really practical ways we can create a healthier environment for ourselves. So, as we wrap up, the big takeaway is this. These 5 habits aren't just separate items on a to-do list. They all work together. When you get better sleep, it helps you make better food choices. When you move more, it can reduce your stress. It's all interconnected in this really powerful cycle of well-being.
And that brings us to the final and maybe the most important question of all. Don't try to do everything at once. Just look at these 5 habits: mindfulness, sleep, food, movement, and reducing toxins, and ask yourself which one feels the most doable for me to start, right now, today. That one small step is the beginning of a truly healthier life.